Dear students, in this presentation, these highlighted topics that we are going to discuss, like the definition of array, what are the major operations that we can perform, how to represent the array, like different type of representation, that is static and dynamic representation, how to compute address of given element. An array is considered as an ADT, that is abstract data type, because it addresses implementation issues. As we know that array is a collection of similar data elements of same type, similar data type elements. It can be a collection of integer, collection of characters, collection of floating point numbers. That means all the elements are of same type. Any element can be accessed, any element can be retrieved with an index. So array index is used for mapping the element in that collection. So array, any pair can be represented with two information. One is index, other one is the data item, that is a value. Here the index is a finite ordered set of one or more dimension. For one dimensional array, one index is used. In case of two dimensional array, two indexes are required. One will represent column in, other one represent the row value. How to create that ADT, abstract data type, different functions. For all A, let A be an array, I be an index, X is an item, J and size are of type integers. Following three major functions are defined. That is, before performing any operation, the array has to be created. After the creation of the array, we are reserving some spaces. It may be a fixed size or that size may not be known. Mainly those locations are required to put our items that we don't know. Okay, so we are going to create, we are going to allocate memory for the data items which is undefined. For creation purpose, we need to provide at least two information: the array name and the index value. The size, how much size that you are going to allocate. Is it 2 cross 2, 4, or single dimension 10, the 10 size. So dimension is required. Here J is a dimension. In case of one dimension array, one value is required. In case of 2D, two values plus the array name. So when you create the array successfully, that means your the function will return an array. So this function returns an array of j dimensions. Okay, uh, where you are going to put the items. The second function, that is the general format of that ADT general function operation, is retrieve function. The purpose of retrieve function is to retrieve an item. So that this function will return an item. What you are going to return? You are going to return. You are going to retrieve an item from ith index. From the index I, the array is A. You are going to retrieve ith element from array A, where I is an index. Suppose that index is undefined. That means, for example, an array is having 10 elements and you are going to retrieve 11th item which is not there. So in such case, it returns an error message. Another function is store function. With that store function, I can put element in the array. For that, I need to send at least three parameters. Array name, where you're going to put that index, what you're going to store, that x value. Here, A is an index, X is the data item. So when you added the array, when you added element to the array, that means the array is getting updated. You are going to return the array. So when you successfully executed this one, this function returns array A, which is a modified one. Compared to the previous version, the returned array is that the modified version. Suppose you are not able to store the item. What I told earlier, array that you have created having size 10 which is fixed, and you are going to store the element in 11th position, which is not possible. We are not able to insert the element. We are not possible to store the element. In such case, it turns error message. This is the example. Here, array is created, one dimensional array is created, which can hold 5 data elements. But I don't know exactly what elements are there in those places. If we don't know, we say that those location has got garbage value. Assume that we have created the array, we added the element, the array size is 5, already 4 elements are there in the array. 4 strings are in the array. Position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3. I0, I1, index 0, index 1, 2, 3 like that. I wanted to store DMS at index 4. Index 4. So after that, compared to the previous 4 elements, that array is now modified. This modified array will be returned, having DS, CO, SC, AD and DMS as data elements. This is the highlighted data item. In order to store the item, I need what is the array name, that array name, where you are going to insert the element, where you are going to store the element, and what you are going to store. When you are sending the parameter, you must see that the data type of this item should match with array data type. The next function, I want to retrieve this third element, that is index 2. For that, I need to pass at least 2 parameters, the array name A and the index value 0, 1 and 2. So 2 index is there, element in that place is SC. The item will be returned. Item is the value returned from this function. 3 major functions are, you are going to create a brand new array which is of fixed size here. Store, purpose of this function is to store element in particular place. If not possible, error will be returned. The retrieve function will retrieve the element in specified place, element in the specified place, that is expressed as index. In C, how to define a static array? To define static array, the syntax is the data type of the array, the placeholder name, array name, and the size. For example, I want to create an array, name the array is A, to accommodate 5 data elements of type integer. Syntax for that is int A square bracket inside that 5. That 5 indicates the size which is fixed. So in C, the index starts from 0. 0 to this size minus 1. 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. In this way, array elements are referred. So before execution, compiler allocates 5 consecutive memory locations. Each item consumes a required number of locations. In case of character, just 1 byte of memory. In case of integer, 4 bytes of memory. For example, for this array A, compiler got these many free locations to put 5 data elements. So those elements address are 3000. We can refer this as base address of the array. Base address. This first data item requires at least 4 because the data type is integer. 4 bytes of memory required for this item. 3000, 3001, 3002, 3003. So these 4 bytes are allocated for the first data item of the array. For the second data item, the memory address starts at 3004. Like that, 3008, 3012, 3016. For us, it is very difficult to remember this actual address or the physical address. For that purpose, we refer those in numbers with the index value. So these are called indexes. 0 is the beginning index, 1 the next, 2 like that. So these things which are inside this are data values. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 are data values. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are indexes. 3000, 3004, 3008, 3012, 3016 are address values. Okay. Address of any data like data at index 0 or data at index 1 or 2 like that can be computed as per this relation. So you are going to shift something from here, from the base, how much distance you have to travel. So that is offset. Base address plus which index you want to access or retrieve, I, size of that data type. Each data element requires 4. I should multiply by that many number of times. Suppose to access, to get, to compute the address of this element, that is at index 3. The formula is base address 3000 plus I is 3 into size of integer, that is 4. 4 into 3 is 12. 3000 plus 12 is 3012. In this way, I can access that particular element. In that way, I can get the address of any data element. Remember that this is a formula, this is a relation to compute address of ith element in the array. For example, how to we'll see one program how to implement that static array in C programming language. We'll restrict ourselves for 5 elements in the array. So this is a function which is not returning anything. Purpose of this function is to perform some operation. Don't worry for the operation. Print is also possible. Scanning is also possible. Reading or summing all the elements, that's also okay. Any kind of function process which is taking array as a parameter. As you know that no need to define, no need to use any variable name here. When you are defining, when you are declaring a function, variable name is not necessary. We call this as signature. When you are declaring the function, or when you are defining the function, you have to follow the signature. The return type is must match the function name and the formal parameters. All these should match. So we call this as signature. So this is formal parameters that is used in the function. Now I am defining a array defining an array A which can hold 5 data elements. Data size is fixed. That is why this type of array is called static array. Array is declared. Array is initialized, having 5 elements. 12, 23, 34, 45, 56 are data elements. I cannot add one more element because size is now fixed. Calling a function process A by sending the base address. The base address of this array is A. Anyway, I will not be complicating that. I am passing array name. Array I am going to pass it. So that is the actual parameter that is used when you are calling the function. Now function is defined, which is returning while should matching. Both are matching. The function name again is matching. The parameter type is integer and it is a array type. Now we have to use formal parameter name. Here I am using local name A. We don't have any relation. That's A is completely different from this A. This is the actual A. This is local A. You can have any variables also. The function is simple. These many number of elements you have to repeat it. 5 elements are there starting from index 0 till 5. Read all the data. So to read the data, at least we should know the address where you're going to keep that data. That address ampersand you have to use. Once data are read, that can be accessed, that can be retrieved using print statement. Using print statement data can be displayed. The important thing that you have to note here is the index I. Index I that will refer particular element in the array. For printing, note that no need to give any address. If you provide ampersand, that will display the address. Okay, you can try this program. First you put ampersand, see the output, then you remove ampersand from the print statement, see the output. Ampersand for the address, no ampersand means that content. For scanf, where you are going to store, that is important. Container name is important. For retrieving, the data is important. Okay. The next is dynamic array. Here we make use of pointers. The syntax is the data type, star mark and the variable name. With the pointer, I can reserve, I'm going to declare a pointer variable with which I can extend any number of free memory locations to make that as array. Using the same concept of array, I can allocate certain required number of memory location. I can extend it, but to store some elements, I'm using malloc function for the purpose of allocation. First, allocation will happen. How much memory location required? Suppose I need to store 10 integer data elements. Each integer data elements takes 4. That means I need at least 40 bytes. So this should happen. We call this as memory allocation. So just to see the syntax, malloc function will allocate required number of memory location. The parameter to be passed, how many locations required. I wanted to create array of size 5. So max value is 5. Each element are of type integer. 5 into 4, 20 elements. 20 data bytes are reserved. 20 data bytes are reserved. So whose starting address is stored in list. The content of this memory location can be anything. But in this case, I'm going to put only integer data. For that purpose, the type casting is important. Content of these memory locations are of type integer. When you are going to store character, use char star. Means the casting is required. If you don't cast, you may get some in other information also. Okay. So remember that you are going to allocate with the required number of size. After that, cast it to the array data type. Similar syntax is used in case of two dimension. In a matrix, two dimensions are row and column. So for example, I need to create a matrix of size 2 cross 2, 2 cross 2, 4 elements. 4 elements of type integer, 4 into 4, 16. That many number of locations has to be reserved, has to be allocated. All these locations are going to hold integer type of data. So casting is required. Remember that when you're allocating the memory, you have to pass how much memory location required. It all depends on the data type, that data that you're going to put in those locations. If you know exact value of that size, exact value that is size of each data type, you can give it. Otherwise, don't bother. Use size of int. It depends on the compiler. Some compiler takes 4 bytes, some compiler takes 8 bytes, some compiler takes 2 bytes. So better use size of int, size of character, size of float, size of long, like that, instead of actually sending that value using actual value. That gives sometime errors also, because as you told earlier that integer takes 2 bytes, but some compiler takes 4 bytes. If you are given only 2 bytes, that means it may not be possible to store all your data in that allocated memory location. That is why we need exact number of locations to store those many elements. What I wanted to tell, whenever you are calling malloc, use size of only, size of that data type. It can be anything, it can be even structure also. We'll be seeing that the later part of that module and in the lab program. We'll see that in the program a function is declared which takes pointer, that is the starting address of that array. Content that is there in that location is of type integer. It is a formal parameter. Now array is created, dynamic pointer is created, that is list. Memory allocations happen now. This is a statement for memory allocation. I'm going to create an array which can hold 5 integer elements, size of int into max. Each location can hold, should store integer, so casting is required. Then I'm calling the function. To call the function, like earlier, I need to send the address, that is that starting address of that particular set of array. Now we'll see that function. A function is now defined while function name, the data type, pointer. Name of that local pointer is list. Now we will see how to read data elements, how to store those elements in those location. In case of static array, we are seeing the use of ampersand, but here we are using address itself. No need to give the ampersand symbol. List plus I. It is similar to list of I, list square bracket I. Both are same. Internally, the memory computation happens. You need not worry. Suppose to read the first element, if list starting address is 2000, 2000 I value is 0. 2000 plus 0 into 4. That means you are going to put element in 2000. To read element and to put that into second index, index I equal to 1. In that case, same formula, list plus I into 4. That is happening internally. List value is 2000 plus I value is 1, 1 into 4. 2004. In that location, the second data item is copied. Okay. So for printing purpose, we are using the container, that is list. We need to retrieve, we need to display the content of container. For that purpose, star is required. Then rest of the things are same. Okay. These are the things that you should note. We'll see some of the difference between static and dynamic version of arrays. How an array is defined? I'm showing that with an example. A static array is created which will hold 10 integer data items. Here, no need to mention any size. Int star a, int star a, int star a. A is a pointer. Array is of type integer in both the case. Before memory allocation case of dynamic, I cannot take any elements. First I have to allocate. First of all, I need a container. Then only I can put some element in that location. So static allocation is not possible in case of dynamic. In case of static array, this is a way to initialize and declare. Two things will happen at the same time. Array is declared. As I don't know the size, it's okay, but I know the elements. Now what happens? It counts the number of elements that are there here. In this case it is 5. Array size is 5. Array is maintained, array is created which can hold 5. That size is fixed. In case of, this is a way to allocate the memory. So that happens before the execution. But in case of dynamic, this is done during the execution of the program. Okay. If array size is of maximum size is 5, to hold integer type data 5 into 4, 20. 20 bytes are reserved. All these can hold integer type elements. The first address here upwards is called as the header node, head, pointer A. And that is an array only. To send array, dynamic array, static array, a function can be used that will simplify your work. Function, type of that array, name of the array, the dimension. You need not mention size of the array. In case of 2D array, use two open close brackets. In case of dynamic array, starting address of that dynamic array is enough. Starting address of the dynamic array is enough. That is A star. Okay. Then a function can return a static array or pointer to the array. In case of a function that returns static array, the return data type has to be array, integer array function name. In case of dynamic, if a function is returning the array pointer, int star is enough. Remember that inside the function, create a static array. This is very important. Static array has to be created. That static array you are going to return. In both the case, the way in which you call the function is same. That is, the way in which you send a parameter, that is array name, is same. Okay. To retrieve an element from the static array, index is required. Suppose to retrieve fourth element, that is index 3, A of 3 is used. A of 3 is used. In case of dynamic memory allocation, dynamic array, star of this is a container. What is the container address? A plus the index 3 into size of each element 4. A plus A is a base address plus how much to skip the offset 3 into 4. This multiplication happens internally. So that content is that element that is retrieved. To read the element in case of static array, we should know the address. Address operator is used, ampersand. Where you are going to read, to which element you are going to read, ampersand A of 3. This is to read fourth element. In the same way, in case of dynamic array, to read element, that fourth element, same technique is used. A of 3, A plus 3. Remember that ampersand is not required because A is a pointer. A is a pointer itself. Address arithmetic, address calculation. A plus internally which memory location is accessed or retrieved or used, base address plus 3 into 4. That happens internally. Here just as shown here, but that happens internally. We'll see that in the program, two-dimensional array in program, almost the same as that of one-dimensional array. Just go through this. Two-dimension arrays defined, okay, which is of type integer. Two dimensions are row and column, value 2 and 2. You have seen this program earlier. To read elements of the array, ampersand A of ij, ampersand is required. In case of retrieving, ampersand is not required because you are going to retrieve the data itself. Okay, to read the data we should know the address. This is how two-dimensional static array is used in the program. We'll see now few of the things how to create static array. Example, mark array is created with the dimension 5 cross 3 of type integer. This is a way to initialize and declare. A matrix is created 3 cross 4, 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. In each row there are 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here comma is missing. The first row, all the elements has to be enclosed within flower bracket, curly bracket, a comma, next curly bracket for the next row, last curly bracket for the last row. If at all some elements are undefined, those are assumed as 0. Any element of two-dimensional array is referred with the index. You know that in case of two dimensions array, two dimensions required. One dimension will specify the row, other dimension specify the column. In this case, we can access index 2, that is third row, index 3, that is fourth column element. In the same way, any element can be modified again with the index only. So this will modify second row, second column, index 2 row, index 2 for column. Whatever the old element is there, that is modified by this new element, that is 14. In the same way, array can be passed to a function. Array can be passed. This is a thing to be used at the time of calling a function. Here, print is a function. I just taken one example. Print is a function. A function is defined in this way. The data type that is returned, function name, array type, array name, the dimension. Okay. Here, The row must be specified, column is not necessary. Small mistake here in this slide. This is not required. Now we'll see some of the things for dynamic two-dimensional array. As you have seen earlier, two-dimensional array with row and column can be created in this way. Malloc function will allocate these many number of locations which can hold integer data, and the address of that starting address, base address is stored here in list. There are different ways to create arrays. There are different ways to create a dynamic array. Here, just for example, I've taken two cases. One single pointer, other with multiple pointers. In case of two pointers, this is a way to define an array. Okay, this is the starting address of the array. Okay, then star marks of 0, that means the first location, that is the first row, the second row, third row are used. Anyway, I will not be complicating the things, just go through this. Now we'll see with one program with a single pointer. Okay, in case of single pointer, here I will assume number of rows in my matrix 3, column in my matrix 4. First I will be using here it is a pointer. It is a pointer, just a small correction. Int star list equal to int star of malloc row into column into size of integer. This will allocate 3 into 4 into 4 memory locations. 3 rows, 4 columns, each requires 4 bytes. That many number of locations are allocated for this array. That address, starting address is stored in list. This is a way. Starting address, these much of locations allocated with the name list. The address is 3018696. Now I will start putting the elements, start reading the elements, and I'll store those in these cells. I have to repeat. How many number of times I have to repeat? I have to repeat in each row. There are 3 rows. I equal to 0, I less than row. 0th row, row number 1, row number 2. In the outer loop, 3 times I have to repeat. In the inner loop, for each row, I have to repeat 4 times. J equal to 0, j less than 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then this location, I know the container name, container. I'm going to read the content. The address of this is I value is 0, j value is 0. That means list plus 0 into 4. List plus 0 plus 0, 0 into 4. List plus 0. That is 3018696. That is a base address. That itself is the address of the first data element. There I am going to read data from the keyboard. Okay. That value say 1. Next, j is incremented by 1. J is now 1. J is now 1. I value 0, 0 into cos 0 plus 1. This much is multiplied by 4. This much is now multiplied by 4. That means 3018696 plus 4. That is 3018700. The address of second. The data is right now. Next, j value is incremented by 1. J is now 2. I value is still 0. 0 into call 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 into 4 is 8. Again, that is added to list 301869 plus 8. Okay, that is 3018704. This is right. Okay, so remember that to get the address I into column, because the data elements are stored in the row major form. In case of column major, it is to be multiplied by column. We'll see that later in the module. I into call plus the jth row. Suppose you are going to reading now in the second row. How many columns you have to skip? How many columns you have to skip? The number of rows previous to this one into number of columns in that row. 4 only. 4 into 1. That means these much you have to keep. These much you have to skip. Plus something here. In the current row, how much? This much. That is indicated by J. This J will gives you this much value. Suppose, anyway, I will give one more example. Suppose I want to read value for 11. I want to read value for this cell. Okay. So these two rows I have to skip. What is the index of this one? I value is 2, J value is 2. Okay. Now, how many rows I have to skip? The first row I, second row, these many rows I have to skip. In each row, how many columns? There are 4 columns. That is why I into column. Right now the I value is 2. To read this now, I value is 2. That means 2 rows you have to skip. In 2 rows, how many elements are there? 8 elements. That is known by column value. 2 into 4, 8. This much value is 8 now. I'll write it here. 8. Okay. Plus how much you have to skip? J value. J value 2. That means this much you have to skip. 2. 2, 8 plus 2, 10. Each of size 4 4 bytes. 4 4 4 4 into 4. That is 40. That 40 is added to list. What is list? 696. 696 plus 40. How much? That is 736. 696 plus 40. That is 301736. This is the thing. In this way, the address is computed. Okay. Next, for display purpose, use star. So when you use the star here, the content in those container, the values are displayed. This is how dynamic memory is manipulated. Okay. Next, same example is shown here, just for your reference. Same example. Okay. Next, how to create dynamic array using array of pointers. Little complicated program. Anyway, I'll explain it. First of all, I have to create an array like this. Okay. A single dimension array I have to create. Single dimension array I have to create, which will hold row address of my matrix. My matrix is having 3 rows. 3 rows. That means in this matrix I should have 3 index. Index 0, index 1, index 2. Here I am going to put address of the first row. Here I am going to put address of second row. Here I am going to put address of third row. Okay. So for that purpose, array of matrix, array of pointer is used. Not simply a pointer just like in the previous case. Array of pointer is used. My array name is ARR, but in this now I should reserve 3 for addresses of each of the row. This is the way. Next, then I will start allocating the memory location for 3 rows. There are 3 rows in my matrix. After the allocation, now these things will happen. Okay, in each of the row there are 4 columns. In each of the row there are 4 columns. C equal to 4. So accordingly, I will reserve the space. So now, right now I am in the first row. I equal to 0. ARR of 0. ARR of 0 is 3. Suppose earlier it was not this, just 3, nothing was there, just a resurrection happened with the value garbage. Now I will be start executing that, I will be allocating that memory location. Now I value is 0. I value is here, I value is 0. That is ARR of 0. ARR of 0 is 3,000. This address is put here in this array. Okay. So how many locations required in that row? How many data elements are there in that row? Data elements are 4 in number. In one row, 4 elements are there. 4 into 4, total 8. This is 4, this is 4. 4 into 4, 16 locations are result. 3000 to 3016 are result. 4, 4, 4, 4. The starting address is 3000. That 3000 is stored here. Next, I equal to 1. Assume that another free location is reserved. How much memory is required? For that, again I have to apply this one. See, 4 into 4, 16 locations. As you can see, these memory location need not be continuous. It can be anywhere. Purposely I took different location. 3000, 3500, 3600. Can be anything. Can be continuous or somewhere else also. 3000, total 16 locations are allocated for the second array. The starting address is 3500. 3500 is stored here. Next, I equal to 1. In the last iteration, I is incremented to 2. Array of 2 is 3600. Another array is created, another one dimensional array is created. Okay, that will hold 4 elements. For that purpose, we need to allocate 16 memory location. Why it is 16? There are 4 elements. Each element requires 4 bytes. 4 into 4, 16. 3600 to 3016, 15. That much is result, and this starting address is stored here. Okay, this is how array of pointers used. This is my array. These are all my 3-row addresses. Okay, 3-row address where these addresses are stored under 4000, 4004, 4008. Now we'll see how to access it. Okay, now these are the element. For example, I want to this is same thing with the different memory addresses. I want to access this 12. I want to access this 12. How to access it? First of all, I should know the starting address, that is array address. Array address is 6487456. Okay, so where you have to go? The first row, no. The second row, no. In the third row I have to go, right? Third row. What is the index in that? I equal to 2. ARR of 2. This is ARR of 0. This is ARR of 1. This is array of 2. This is 2. What is the address? 648747. Correct. So ARR of 2 is 6487472. What is the content of that? What is the content? So this is a formula. Later I'll come back to this part. What is the content of that? That content is 11146272. What that indicates? It's the starting address of that row. This is the starting address of the row of interest. This is a row of interest. Starting address is 11146272. Okay. Now we reach to the base of this particular row. Now these locations you have to skip. How much location you have to skip? These much locations you have to skip. So that is indicated by J value. What is J value for this? J0, J1, J2, J3. 0, 1, 2, 3. J value 3. If you skip 3 location, J value 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. That means 3 columns you have to skip. If you skip these many columns, then you will get this address. That means 11146272 plus 3 into 4. You will get this address. This is how the address calculation happens in case of array of pointers. The equation is simple. Star bracket star of ARR plus I to retrieve this one plus how much to skip J. That is multiplied by 4. Okay, I will break everything. I think a different example. Okay, say I equal to 2, J equal to 3. First you substitute it. Star star. This is there in the print statement in the previous slide. Base address of the array 6487456. Okay, plus how much to skip? Why here 8 is added? Because this is long type data. The address in these locations are long, not 4, it is 8. Okay, this is 8. As it is a pointer, this will hold the address. Address size is long, that is why 8 is multiplied. You can see 56 plus 8, 64 plus 8, 72. 8 is multiplied. So that is why this 8 is multiplied. This is, I will show with an arrow. I will show with this arrow. This is this address 6487456 plus 2 into 8. This address. Okay. The content of that this much. Star of this much. Star of this much. What is the content? That is 111462. I will show with this arrow. This is this value. Actually, that is a row. Correct. 11146272. The content of this memory location. Actually, that is the row address. Which row? 0th row, first row, second row. This is the second row address. Okay. Right now we are in the base of that row. These many locations you have to skip. How many locations you have to skip? J number of locations you have to skip. Actually, it is not just 3. 3 into 4. 3 into 4 is 12. For this, you have to add 12. Why 12? 1, 2, 3 into 4. 4 because it is integer. Array data type is integer. This is long. So, by adding 12 to this, we will get the address of this location. What is there in that location? That is 12. Okay. So, again you rewind this one, listen again for more clarity. Okay. Now, to end this presentation, 4 memory related functions are there. Those are memory allocate function malloc, calloc, realloc and free function. So we'll see these 4 functions one by one. The first is malloc function. This reserves a block of memory with a specified number of bytes. It returns a pointer of wide. By default, it returns pointer of wide, but we need to store our particular data type. For that, you have to cast it like integer or character or float like that. So this is the syntax: a pointer variable, casting type, malloc size. To reserve memory for 100 data of type integer, 100 into size of integer, 400 bytes are reserved. Why 400 bytes? 100 for data items into each data item takes 4. 4 into 100 is 400. Each location will hold integer type data. Okay, the starting address is stored in PTR. The next is calloc function. The calloc function allocates memory and initializes all memory to 0. Clearing CLOC that clears. Here you can write a small program just by allocation and try printing it. You will get some garbage value. I will show that with the program later in the presentation and the other presentation to just to see the malloc and cloc. In case of cloc, everything is same. Everything is same, but all memory locations are now cleared. Cloc n size, n size for 25. For example, I need memory location for 25 integers, 25 integer size, but small change in the usage. Here we multiplied total size you have to provide here. Here the number of data items, size of each data item, integer comma this one. Okay, so when it allocated this memory, that much of memory 25 into 4, all 25 into 4 locations are set to 0. Sometime I need to expand the allocated memory. That can be done with the help of realloc. So original data will be maintained as it is, plus extra things are added to the set. Okay, so realloc is some more memory that is added to malloc. Earlier data is status same, plus extra things. We'll be taking one example how to create a dynamic natured stack later in the second module. Okay, the syntax is here how much to expand. This x need to be given to which one? To the PTR. Now what happens? The old plus extra things are returned. Real of purpose, allocate the memory plus extra things already allocated, extra new things are added to expand the size. Now it is changing. Now we'll see with the program uh, after allocation, if your program is holding those memory that cannot be used for any other program. When the memory is not in use, like when you remove a node from the linked list, when you remove a node from the binary tree or a tree, when you remove a node from the graph, actually till the program execution, that released memory is with the program control, that cannot be used. So that becomes a garbage, unused, that cannot be used. So any other program may need the memory. If you don't release those unused memory, that causes the memory, okay, insufficient memory. That kind of error may be fired. Such kind of such cases, we have to see we have to see that memory is utilized properly. That can be done with the help of free function. In some languages, this unused spaces is automatically recollected and added to the memory pool. But in C, you have to call free function. So free, once you call, that will release that memory held to the memory manager. Okay. Now we'll see the effect of malloc and cloc realloc. The first is malloc. Column 2 into 4 into 2, 2 into 2, 4 into 4, 16 bytes are reserved. So once you read the data now, these are the things. Why these are the things? I'm reading the data from these locations. I don't know. It can be anything. So these are considered as garbage. Garbage values. The memory in that, the data in those location is garbage. If you don't want these data, you don't want this garbage value, we want only the actual value. In such case, you can go with cloc. So if you call cloc now, all locations are set to 0, which is useful. Cloc will give the guarantee that all the data are 0. But in case of malloc, it is dangerous. If you're simply printing those, no garbage values are getting printed. But in clog, there is a trust, that means always the value that is set to 0 in case of numeric. Okay, in case of character, it is null. Okay, calloc is good to use when you don't want the garbage value to maintain in the array. See the purpose of reallocation. Okay, malloc 5 into 4, 20 bytes are result. 20 bytes are result to allocate memory for 4 integer items. Okay, assume that stored data in these location. Because of this statement, elements are 0 1 2 3 4 are put in those locations. I'm trying to print it. After printing, no, this is the result. This is the result. This is to store, this is to access it. Now I'm feeling that I'm finding insufficient memory. I want to expand it. How much? 10 more locations I have to add it. 10 more. 10 into 4. 40 bytes I have to add it. How to do that? Call realloc function with the same pointer. Remember that? Same pointer is used. How much? 10. Another 10 into 4 bytes are added. 10 items. 10 plus 5. See the situation. When you add it now, old data retained. This is the old. This is unchanged. These are garbage. You can use this for any other purposes. Any other purposes. This is newly allocated. This is the old one. Okay. So these are the topics that you should know before seeing array. Thank you for listening.